Hi, welcome back to Live Amazing with Stefan. Today we're going to continue our balanced fueling videos, and I want to pick up where I left off, showing you more dinner ideas. I want to make sure that the concept of what we're going for is a priority here. That the exact recipes that I'm showing you are fine. If you want to copy them, that's great. But we're changing the whole dynamic of how we prep our food, prepare the food, our mindset while we're doing that for the sake of balanced fueling. Protein, carbohydrates, and fat in the right proportions consistently throughout the day with the best sources. It doesn't mean we have to sacrifice the foods that we like, especially ethnic foods. If you like Chinese food, Mexican food, Italian food, there's a way to incorporate that in there. But traditional foods are traditionally out of balance. There's nothing wrong with the food. Again, carbohydrates, protein, and fat are in everything. It's just the proportions that exist and how we put them together. So let's jump in here and we'll look at a couple different things, and I'll show you how to have them, enjoy them, but keep within the parameters of balanced fueling. Let's start with Mexican food. Now, all of you, just forgive me, this isn't going to be traditional, but it's traditional enough to really get the essence of having Mexican food. Now, I want to be clear that you have creative license here to add as much jalapenos, hot sauce, onions, whatever you like. Just don't change the parameters of your protein and carbohydrates. Keep those the same. Vegetables, onions, garlic, jalapenos, hot sauce, that has nothing to do with anything that's significant as far as carbohydrates or protein or anything like that. So you can, do whatever you want to make it pleasing to the mouth. Just stay within those balanced parameters. So I'm going to show you the proportions for one portion because I'm going to make a couple of things and I don't want a ton of food all over the place here. And then you can do the math to multiply out for 2, 4, however many people you want. So to start with, in the pan with the vegetables, we're going to put beans and salsa. And I've got some cans here just to show you. Again, you don't have to buy what I'm showing you. I'm just showing you how simple this is. This is an organic tri-bean blend. And you can see here that it's only got 19 carbohydrates for a half a cup. And that's great. Those are great carbohydrates, low glycemic, the whole thing. This is a black bean can. And what we've done is I've mixed them in this container because we like them both, and so when we dip we get a little of both, but that's our personal preference, and I'm encouraging you to do the same thing, staying within the correct parameters. Again, this is only 19 carbohydrates for a half a cup. So we're going to add some pasta to this, macaroni in this case. If you have rice, whatever your preference is, you can make it that way. So I'm going to be splitting up my carbohydrates with the beans and the macaroni pasta that we're going to put in this particular dish. This is a canned salsa that I actually do recommend. It's Kroger, but it's fire roasted salsa style diced tomatoes, and it's like awesome salsa in a can. You can see it here, how lovely it is. You can probably see the other camera. We're going to add that in for the real flavor. So let's get started with that. So because we're adding pasta, we're going to go with 1/4 cup of beans. And again, this is just one person, so it doesn't sound like a lot. And then we're going to do, pasta goes in later. We're going to do 1/3 cup of salsa because that really fires up the flavor. And then we're going to go with a cup of vegetables. All right. Now, while this all seems kind of small and not that much, it's just one proportion. When you put the chicken and everything together, it comes out really great. So I'm going to set this on the stove, and then I'm going to show you how we set up our Italian food, and then we'll cook them at the same time. I used a smaller pan. Typically, I would cook everything in the wok because I don't have two different kinds of food in one night. It's either Italian, Mexican, Chinese, and I already showed you Chinese on the first video of dinner. So this is, we're carrying it over into some other categories here. Now with the Italian, we need a little more sauce, 1/2 cup of sauce. And again, the sauce we use for the Italian is your choice. This is just a store-bought garlic, roasted garlic. You can get a meat sauce, whatever you like. It's up to you. We're big fans of pesto around here. So in this particular recipe, we're going to put a tablespoon of pesto in with the sauce. One thing I forgot, let's slide over to our Mexican food pan, is that we like beans and corn in Mexican food. So it's nice to have a little of that. So we're going to put a 1/4 cup of frozen corn in our Mexican mix. There we go. All right, back to the Italian. Now, that seems a little wimpy. That's about it. We're going to put a cup of vegetables on this. Once again, it's 1 serving. And in our vegetables, we have the same zucchini, onions, green peppers, you know, a lot of things that may or may not be in your particular ethnic food, but when you're eating it, you find that it was a really great idea. The vegetables are primarily there for some carbohydrates, but to volumize the meal. Again, there's not enough carbohydrates in vegetables to significantly live on them, and if you ate a whole big bowl of them, you'd be really full, and it takes a lot to digest it. So let's just use them as volumizers and keep that in mind so you can have a lot of fun with them, and they'll do their job. So let's set this. Let's go ahead and crank these babies up. Now, one of the things you need to know about the difference between the other day and Chinese, when you put beans and spaghetti sauce in the pan, you can turn it on super high, but you're going to have to stir it more often because otherwise you're going to end up with some burning going on. The Chinese food, the stir-fry sauces and whatever, are a little bit more liquefied, so you're able to leave it for a little while it heats up without fear of burning it. This is going to be with all the talking that I'm doing. It's taking a few extra minutes, but if you're just home focused on what you're doing, it's going to be great. Okay. This is 1/2 cup. So our Italian, we're going to go spaghetti. I'm going to make spaghetti, but I'm going to use the rice noodles. There's our 1/2 cup-ish of rice noodles. Obviously, we can be a little bit casual about it. Now, we got the beans going, so we got 1/4 cup of pasta in our Mexican bowl. Okay, so we've got spaghetti, and we've got our macaroni pasta, chicken, nice heaping 1/2 cup both, giving us our 35 carbs, or 35 grams of chicken. All right, so that gives us about 30 grams of protein, and we will microwave that just as soon as we get a little closer with the sauces. Now we got some bubbling going on in both of these, which is great. Once again, the rule of keeping things hot but crunchy applies. So this food is almost done. So now I'm going to turn this to regular high, and I'll put our food in. 30 seconds on the chicken and noodles just to warm it up. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn that off. This is personal preference, but I prefer my vegetables very hot and crispy. Now, nutritionally speaking, it's better for you because the glycemic index of the carbohydrates in the vegetables is lower because they're raw, take longer to digest, and for the food to affect your blood sugar. It also burns fat to digest them, plus it's more pleasing to the mouth. If you like to cook your vegetables to death so they're just this mushy stuff that used to taste like vegetables, that's your preference. It'll go into your blood quicker. Again, you don't have enough to really, that's a significant issue, but it's something you can consider. It also is much faster. I mean, I put it on the stove, turned it on, and it's done. So keeping that in mind, that's a personal preference thing. There's our pasta, and our Mexican food is ready to go. So now that that's warm, put this over here where we can see it a little bit better. All right, I'm going to bring our sauce over to our chicken spaghetti. Now, that is a lovely dish. Once you mix this up, you can see that it's perfectly proportioned with the right amount of sauce. It's that lovely little mess that you always look for when you're eating. But you have a great plate of Italian food. More to the point, you have 30 carbohydrates, 30 grams of protein, probably about 3 or 4 grams of fat, in a delicious meal that gives you the Italian flavor that you're looking for. and not compromising anything by going overboard. All right, we got our chicken and a little macaroni. Now here comes our beans and corn. Both of these dishes are guilty in traditional styles of being way overboard with the carbs. With Mexican food, you have the tortillas, you got beans, you got rice, and probably beer. I don't know. But there's just, by the time you're done eating, you might have consumed 150 carbohydrates. Wow. Whoa, that's 3 meals in one. So keeping that in mind, once again, mixing this up, it gives you that wonderful, hot, crispy vegetable ness that we're looking for with healthy eating. I do anyway. But again, it's up to you. You can cook these any way you like. You can add the ingredients that you like. If you think about it, no matter what ethnic food you pick, there's going to be protein of something. Fish, chicken, beef, lamb, whatever. There's going to be some kind of vegetables, and there's going to be some kind of carbohydrates. So we've certainly stayed in the parameters of that. We've added the sauces, which gives it that particular ethnic flavoring. If you want more garlic in there, put it in there. You want more jalapenos, put that in there. That's up to you. But you're eating balanced and you're enjoying it. Your family's loving it. If your kids one likes it hot, one likes it mild, great. Still took you 10 minutes to make dinner for 4 people, and it's fresh and it's good and they love it. And your body loves it. Once again, I want to point out quickly, and I've said this a lot, I'll keep saying it in the future, is that by eating like this, not only it's the best way to be healthy, optimally healthy, feel better, takes care of your physical, mental, and emotional health, it eliminates 80% of the reason we go to the doctor. So while we've made a lovely dinner in 5 minutes that's really inexpensive, I think these meals both come in at about $1.50, $2 a plate for dinner. Woof, that's really good. And we eliminated a trip to the doctor. Blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose levels, all these things are being balanced by eating like this. So once again, let's keep that in mind. So I'll put the information down below as far as what went into these dishes for one person, and then you can do the math as you wish to go forward. And again, you can experiment with that. If you want more beans and no pasta, just be smart enough to use the calculations. Don't decide to eat an extra 30 carbs just because you want to. Because now that's going to throw off what you're doing. If you eat 80 carbs instead of the 35, you enjoyed it, you're full, but you also messed up your ability to assimilate the protein and everything else in the meal. Some of it went stored to fat, it created cravings, it spiked your insulin. Why would you do that? When all you got to do is balance it, volumize it with the vegetables so you're full, and you're fine. You didn't balance or spike anything. Everything's balanced, you didn't spike anything. So once again, there it is. I appreciate your time. Our next video is super exciting. It's going to be award-winning soup that makes you a superhero in the kitchen. Believe me, everybody's going to love you for this one. So check it out. In the meantime, let's all live amazing. Thank you. Bye.